let's start off by opening this guy. Once you get this guy open, get this out of the way and start by feeding the cable down that way. And basically you want to tuck it in under here and get it out from over here, because eventually we want to go up this way towards the trunk. So from the trunk area, the cable, basically I ran the cable along the side over there, just down pretty much down along here and all the way up to here. So I got it to this point so far. Over here I just pretty much ran the cable through and I just tucked it in with my finger. There's lots of room in there. And now from here we're gonna have to get it to the front. To remove this plastic cover over here by the door, you just pretty much pull up on it. There's like these little clips that they're just in there by force. If you just put your hands in on each side and slowly pull up, careful not to break it, should just pop off. So let's go ahead and remove this plastic piece so we could run the cable down through here and around to the front. We just need a ratchet, just a number 11. Just remove this. Once you remove the nut, let's go to the front area. Oh, looks like it's one whole piece. So same thing with the front piece, just start prying at it and it should just come out. Just be careful, don't rush too much because you don't want to break the plastic. But if you just work your way down like this slowly, it should just come off. And we should be able to just take the whole thing off. Put it down over here. Okay, just like that. Back here, I'm just gonna tuck it in underneath the carpet. If you just put it underneath the carpet, just like that, should be fine. So once you get the plastic part off, it makes it way easier. Just tucked it in back over here and then down through here. Tucked it in under here and got it up to that point so far. So go ahead and tuck the cable underneath this plastic piece. Just get it under there and up to over here. I got it up to over there. Keep tucking it up until you get up to here. Alright, so let's remove this plastic piece over here so we get access in here and we could fish the cable that way behind the deck. Looks like there's a plastic clip over here that we have to remove, and there might be one on that side too. Yeah, I think there is one on that side. Yep, there is. So go ahead and remove those. So the trick with these little plastic holders is you basically want to pull this part down so this part gets free, and then you could pull the whole thing out. Because if this is up, then this won't squish and won't let it come down. So pull this part down and then the whole thing should just come out. Same thing for both sides. So once we get the two little plastic things out, we could start pulling at this to get it off. I think there's some clips on the top, so start with the top. Yep. Just be careful not to pull at it too hard because you do have your OBD port connections connected to this panel, so just take it nice and slow. Oh, I think there's some clips over here. There's some more clips on this side, so we're gonna have to get this part off. Yeah. So I think there's a screw over here holding it in, so let's go ahead and take this piece off too. Oh no, there's one of those little plastic holder things. Let's take that off. Once we take that off, it should just come out. Okay, we could actually just take this off. There's just like a little groove that it's going in there, so you could just pop it off. That's it. That gives us access to this area. Now we could fish the cable up to behind the deck. So now we could go ahead and start fishing the cable that way. I just went back here. I'm gonna go maybe through here. That way this metal kind of holds the cable. Maybe we could even tie wrap it to over here so it doesn't wiggle and stuff. And you could just work your way slowly that way. Get it to that area, and then from there to there we'll have to pop the deck out and fish it up. I'm just gonna put a tie wrap in here so it kind of holds the cable securely and doesn't move around while you drive, and it kind of holds it away from the steering rod. I mean, it should be fine. It's pretty far. Put a tie wrap just in case. So I got it up to this part. Now we could remove the deck and fish the cable up to behind that area. So by now you guys should be experts on installing this guy, seeing my other video. So to take it off, you just pull off the top part, and the top part comes off, and then the thing just comes off. So let's go ahead and take that off so we get access into this area so we can get the cable up to here. I think it's going to be easiest if we just remove this whole panel. So the 2 screws, remove it, and then start from the top. Kind of get your hand over here and just pry it. It should just pop off. Okay, yeah, so getting this out of the way is going to make it easier because it's going to make accessing this area easier. We could just put our hand in, feed the cable from the bottom, and grab it from over here. So feed it from down over here, up, and grab it from over there. Alright, so I got the cable here. It was pretty easy. I mean, if you look in here, you can see your hand right over there. So just feed it through here, up. Follow the own car's cable if you want. Go up, back here, and through here. And we can plug it into the back of your newly installed screen. So you want to plug it into this cable, the one that's on alone, that's connected over on to this side. So it's just the video cable that's just standalone, that's by itself. You want to connect it to that one. Go ahead and connect it to that. Maybe even put some electrical tape around it to secure it, and you can start. Alright guys, so I got the cable ran and connected to the back of the screen, and I got all the plastic pieces all back in, and it's good to go. Now we have to go and get the back part done. Alright guys, so now let's get started in the back over here. So we want to fish the cable up this way up to here in this area, and then get it through here to here so we could eventually get it down to where we want the camera. So to remove this piece, it's basically just 2 little plastic covers over here, one over there and one on that side, and then there's just 2 Phillips screws. Take the screws out, and then same thing, just start prying at it from one side. There's just some holders that holding it in there pretty securely, so if you just work your way from this side to that side, it should come off just slowly. I already took it out, so it's a little bit easier, but there's just those, same thing as the front, those holders in these areas that's holding it in. So take that off and put it aside. So once we got that piece out of the way, now we basically have access to it in this area. I think we could just pull this down and that should be enough, honestly. We could reach in and just pull the cable up. I think if we push it through here or up through here, might be better to go. Actually, might be better to go from this side up and get it into this area, and then we could go up and just follow down to that area. So I just got in here and I pretty much stuck my hand all the way up into here and just rested the cable up over here. And now we could just see it in there. It is right over there. So just go ahead and grab the cable. Okay, so I got the cable up to here. Let's go above the seat belt. Yeah, let's just go above the seat belt, following this other cable. It's above that area too, so it should be fine. So we got the cable up to here. Now let's get it through there and down to where the license plate is. So let's start by removing this part first. If you just pull out and pull down and this way, it should pop off. Same thing, there's some clips in there. The clips are angled like that. There's a few more over here. Same thing, just work your way this way. It should just come out. The first two was kind of, had to use a bit of force, but the rest was pretty easy. Screws in here, there's four Phillips screws. So go ahead and remove those. So I went ahead and I took off the 4 screws, the Phillips screws, and it's kind of loose now on the bottom. So there should just be some clips on the sides again, similar to the front area. So if you just start pulling, it should just come out. Just start pulling at it slowly. So I got all the holding points out, these yellow little holders. You basically want to just pull at it as they come out, but up there in the front looks like there's like a hook. There's like a hook there in the front, so you have to. So this is what I was talking about at the end. This area was the last holding point that was kind of pushed into here. So I just put my hand here in the back and just pulled it, and it came off pretty easily. So once you get those plastic pieces off, now we have access in here to run the cable down. Let's get the cable through here now. So I got this little rubber transition. I took them off. I just put a coat hanger through and taped the cable on one end so I could just pull it through, fish it through here. So this cable ended up not being long enough for the way that I ran the cable. So I just got a coupler with an extension cable. Should work fine. So we could go ahead and fish this through there too, down through here, and eventually connect it over here. So I already fished this cable for the power through there. I'm just gonna tape this onto there and then just keep pulling it. This should come out on the other end eventually. So once you get your video extension cable taped onto your power cable or pull string or whatever you want to call it, you can start pushing it from one side and pulling from the other side. Feed it, pull, because this is rubber and it's kind of tight. So you don't want to pull from one side, it's better to feed and pull. Alright, so I got both my power cable, which is just a Cat 5 cable, and the video extension cable through this little rubber transition from the inside of the car that goes to the trunk. And then I got it connected over here. Once we get that through, we can go ahead and put this back in and we can move forward. So for the power cable, we could go ahead and feed it down the same route that we feeded this cable, because eventually we're going to get power from the reverse light. So just go down over here into this area so we could get power from the reverse light. So you can go ahead and do that. So same thing, just hold this forward and just put your hand in there and just feed it down until it comes to here and just pull it through. do some tie wraps in this area for these cables, but let's just leave it for now. I'll do it at the end. So I just looked in here. I've decided that I'm gonna get my cable through here. There's like a grommet in there that gives us access to the inside. So if we take this light out, we should be able to get the cable through there. To get the light out, it's pretty simple. Just get a flathead, push that little clip or whatever you want to call it, mechanism, and it should just come off. And then we could get the cable through here. There's already the power cable for these lights are going through here. It's big enough, we could get it through there. And to take this off, just twist, it just comes off. So we want to get the camera cables through here. So I ended up just putting the cable through the side over here, just popping this that way and then just feeding it through and then pushing this back into the place. Because it was pretty tough to try to get it through here. It should be fine in this too. So I went ahead and just tie wrapped the power cable and the video cable. Just follow the car's wires. I just came down up to here. Just connected it over there for now. Now we're gonna have to take out the tail light and figure out the power for the reverse light. So it's just 2 bolts. There's one over there, take it off. One down there, take it off. The light assembly should just come off now. So yeah, just get the 2 bolts out, and there's 2 holders over here. Just pull at it, it will pop off eventually. Those 2 holders are in there. Once it comes out, you can disconnect the light, and let's figure out which connections is the reverse lights. So I'm just gonna remove the whole light fixture out of the way and just leave the reverse light connected in. So to remove this one, just push that, pull, and it'll come off. To get this connection out, you just get a screwdriver underneath here and pry it up, and then you see how there's like a little groove, and you'll be able to just slide it off. And that way we can get this little fixture out of the way. So let's get our cable out there. So let's do a trick. Grab your excess cable that you just cut off from this end. So I ended up just pushing the cable down, and it ended up coming out behind here. I just moved that out and I grabbed it, and then I just pushed it up through here that way. That way we don't have to mess around with this foam piece. We'll put that back in the way it was. And then we could now tape this onto here, and we could pull the cable back and get this out there. So I got my power cable taped to my pull string. So now if we start pulling this, it should just come through, eventually coming out over here. Now we could figure out which one is positive and negative on the reverse light and tap it in. Wire tappers like this, where you could basically tap into the wire and you don't have to do any splicing or strip back the sheet, because then if you need to remove the cable, you could just open this up and just take it off, and there'll just be a little small nick in the cable. You can just put some tape around it. So I recommend wire tappers. So I went ahead and I tapped into the reverse light. So positive is the green cable, and these 2 are both negative. So you could go on whichever one, but I went on the main negative one that's coming from the harness. So there's a main one that's coming from the harness to here, and then it's getting jumped back to the other light. Doesn't really matter, you could go on whichever one, but it's pretty simple. Negative is black and positive is green. And then with my Cat 5 cable, I did green as positive and brown as negative. Oh hey, coincidentally green, positive, sweet. And obviously same thing over here. Green on the positive and brown on the negative, and it's just connected over here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and fasten this up, get some crimps on it, get some electrical tape on it. Same thing with this side. Get some electrical tape want to like just do a lot so it's nice and safe. And then once you do that, you can start basically putting everything back together, and we will mount the camera at the end. Last step is to get your little plate light back on there, and obviously you're gonna have to angle this and get it in the right position that you want, and then just screw it onto here. You should be good to screw it onto the plastic. There's nothing on the other side, so just 2 screws. Get it on there on the angle you want and just screw it in, and it should be good to go. Before you put any screws or anything, you might want to just do some stick the camera on there with some double-sided sticky tape and get the angle good the way you want it before you put the screws in. So I just put some double-sided sticky tape on the back of this plate and just stuck it on there and angled the camera the way I want it. And once I'm happy with the angle, then I'm just gonna put the screws in there, or you could just leave the double-sided sticky tape too, that's fine too, it's strong enough. Also, I kind of drilled a little bit of a notch in the corner of the plastic over here, just in the corner here, to kind of so the cable could fit in the notch and I could get this light, the license plate light back on there, clipped in there. So I just used a drill and just kind of lightly drilled a notch in the corner. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. So I just tested it, and when I put the car in reverse, the camera comes on, so everything's good. Thanks for watching. I hope this video made the process a bit easier for you, for those of you that want to install a backup camera in your car that didn't come with a backup camera. So subscribe, like the video, stay tuned for more. See you guys.